Welcome to another episode of Ordinary Guys Bourbon. Today on the program, very special guest, a person who's anything but ordinary. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing real good.
Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm an ordinary guy. I work, 8 hours a day, 40-hour week at least. Got a wife, I've got kids, and just me and the wife at home and a couple dogs, and that's about it.
So what kind of dogs do you have?
German Shepherds.
Big dogs?
Yep.
Do you like them?
Oh yeah. I've had German Shepherds all my life. This is probably the 8th set.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? What lifespan of a German Shepherd is what, like 12 years?
12 years.
Okay.
That's about the average.
Do they learn easily?
Yes, they're very smart. They're very, very smart.
And how big is a German Shepherd? They're big dogs.
So I've had them anywhere from 75 pounds to
God.
125 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
And I only get females.
Okay. Bitches.
Yes, because I don't like males cocking their legs.
Okay.
And I don't like females that are better learners and they're more badasses.
So when you go to the store to buy, I assume you buy dog food. Do you make dog food?
No. Well, yes and no.
Okay.
So we do the raw
Do you really?
meat.
That's a commitment.
It's not only a commitment, it's like feeding 2 teenagers.
It's expensive.
Yes, it is.
Wow. But they go through a lot of food for a dog that size.
Yeah, just about like a teenager. Yep.
I had a dog that was,
So if you think about what you eat in a day and and basically you take this dog and give it all meat, or if they're getting, partial vegetables and meat, or vegetables, meat, and some rice,
okay,
But ours mainly get mostly meat, and then they get the vegetables.
okay. My dog that I had was like 6 pounds.
Yep.
He was the size of a slipper.
Yep.
And I'd buy one of those little bags of like Yukonuba.
Yep.
That would last me like 6 months. But
You talk about like a toy Yorkie or something like that?
well, it was a toy poodle.
Oh,
His name was Dr. Charles Watson. He was a philosopher. And that dog slept like 23 hours a day.
okay.
The dog was great. I've told my wife before, the cat is part of a long game, right? Because my wife wasn't a big fan of the dog, and she didn't have an animal, and I let her get a cat. Not like I let her get a cat, but like the negotiation was there.
Right.
I was like, yeah, absolutely, get a cat. And now you watch the cat, and it hops up on the furniture, right? Hops up on the counter, right? And it's the baby, right? And I've just been playing this because when I retire, I'm getting dogs back again, right? And I want to be like, I want to be able to have the dog go wherever it wants to go,
Right.
Yep. Because again, if the dog's only this big, where's it gonna go? So you work with us at the auto factory.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Were you in the area before? Or where did you come from before that?
I've always been around McLean County.
Okay.
I grew up in a small town north here, Gridley. Went to school there. My mom and dad farmed, and then when my mom and dad retired, I was already about out of the house.
Okay.
I was still in high school, and I had the opportunity to take the farm over. Back in the '80s, we were just barely making it.
Yeah, it was rough back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though we owned all of our own equipment and that, we were just breaking even.
Really?
So I decided to take the trades route,
Okay.
and told my dad that, and he gave me the blessings, and here I am. Well, I spent 28 years in the sheet metal hall,
Okay.
so that was the trades I got into.
Okay.
Basically, when I say sheet metal hall, that's the hall, but I only did sheet metal for probably about 5 years, and then I got straight into service. So I was running service for
Okay.
20-some years.
Really? Huh. And things are going well at the auto company. You like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got a good boss, I think, too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got a real good boss.
Sometimes.
Well,
Sometimes. Oh, Ken back there, our cameraman, he's saying cut that out. We don't do any editing. There's very little editing. So listen, here's the bourbon we're having today. We've got Pinhook Bourbon 2023. And I did my research as I always do. There isn't much to unwind there on this one. There's some information that's interesting. Pinhook Bourbon and its parent company, CJS Beverage LLC, was founded in 2010 by longtime friends Sean Josephs, Charles Fulford, and Jay Peterson. Sean was a certified sommelier, with an extensive knowledge of American whiskey. He also had extensive restaurant industry experience and was the proprietor of 3 whiskey bars. Charles Fulford is an expert in design and marketing, having held chief creative officer roles at several companies such as Seed Health, Field, Candid, Elephant, Huge, and others. Jay has deep roots in business and the horse industry. The common ground between these 3 guys, they love American whiskey. And so they were joined by John Scarborough, who's the current CEO since December 2024, and Alice Peterson, who serves as the executive chair and former CEO of Pinhook. John has extensive executive experience, most notably for ballooning the value of Deep Eddy vodka. Alice, whose husband is the aforementioned Jay, he deserves recognition, or she deserves recognition as well, though. She's a graduate of Williams College and has an MBA from Harvard, and has previous high-level roles at Sanctuary for Families, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, Boston Consulting Group, American Express, and others. She served as the CEO during a significant period of growth for Pinhook, and it's always good to recognize female members of the bourbon industry, I think.
Right.
So this company started, they purchased 20 barrels from what's now Midwest Grain Products, or MGP, and they shipped the barrels to Kentucky for aging. The first release was in fall of 2014. It was well received. In 2017, they started distilling their own liquid at Castle and Keys, recently restored Old Taylor Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky, which was the first to come out of the historic site since 1972. Pinhooking is actually the process of purchasing young thoroughbreds with the intention of selling them when they've matured and they're ready to run. Pinhook's website explains successful pinhooks, much like whiskey, are made on instinct, experience, a little luck, and a lot of patience. The other thing that was interesting about this is the bottle design, and you know, I think this kind of goes back to the founder's roots. There's 3 consistent elements that allow easy differentiation between small batch releases. The colors, that's the first thing. They make 2 styles of whiskey, a bourbon and a rye. Within each, there are 4 expressions, although I can only find 6. But either way, the flagship bourbon is orange, flagship rye is green. So that's the first thing. They have a cask and a high-strength bourbon that's purple, and a cask high-strength rye that's blue. And then they've got what they call a vertical series, that's gold for bourbon, and it's silver for rye. There's a collaboration series, which is a white label, and they have an artist series, which is a black label. And then they've got geometry, much like a jockey would have on the flag of the horse, right? So they've got different patterns here based on the year. So you see how this has like a little chevron, right? So this is 2013 or 2023 is a chevron. 2024 is 2 half circles. 2025 is a diamond with 2 triangles, you know, and so on. Right. And then the last thing is horses. So every horse denotes the lot of the barrels from which the blend comes. Every year, Pinhook selects 2 up-and-coming thoroughbreds from their partners at Bourbon Lane Stable, one with a bourbon name and one with a rye name. So in 2023, this release features Bourbon Resolve, is the horse that's on the front of the bottle. It's a horse that was purchased in partnership with 6 Column Stable for $200,000. The horse was foaled on April 19th, 2020. It was bred by Kajong Kim. Yep. And it stands tall at 16.2 hands.
That's tall.
That's 5.4 feet.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Is that tall for a horse?
Yeah. Usually they're between 10 and 13.
Really?
I had a 16.5 hand.
Really? Yeah. So this horse, it's as when I was doing the research, it's raced in 12 races. Has 3 first place finishes, 2 second places, 2 thirds, and has earned $219,393. It seems like horse racing is profitable.
It is.
Yeah. You had horses?
Yep.
On the farm? Yep. What did you guys farm?
Where?
What?
Quarter beans.
Quarter beans? What do they just alternate every other year?
Every other year.
And is that just to maintain the nutrients in the soil?
Yeah, mainly so you ain't overdoing it.
Really? But don't you need different equipment?
Yeah. I mean, basically, yeah. Planter, you change out the disc in the planter heads.
Okay.
And then
is that a drill?
No.
Oh.
I mean, you can get a bean drill.
Okay.
So that'd be just for beans. You can't do corn that way.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So like we had 7,000 series John Deere planter. It had 30-inch rows. We had discs we changed out from seed corn to seed beans.
Really?
Some years we made our own soybeans seed.
Okay.
We just mixed this black fertilizer in with it,
Okay.
and
But then when you harvest corn, you need the big combine, don't you?
yeah,
How do you harvest beans?
with the same thing.
Same thing? Really?
Well, but it's just a platform. And
Okay.
It's got a reel on it and just brings it in.
Like you see the hay.
Right. Or like how they do wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Wheat head is about the same as a bean head.
You have to have to make it profitable in farming. And I know we're getting all in the weeds a little bit. But to make it profitable, you have to have a decent amount of acreage that you're doing.
Nowadays, yeah, you do.
You know.
Yep.
So how many acres was the farm that your folks had?
It was close to 1,000.
1,000 acres.
Yeah. And it still wasn't enough.
At 1,000. I mean, how long did it take just to plant 1,000 acres?
Well, I mean, the equipment size makes a difference too.
But still, it's a lot of acres.
Yes, it is. But if you're running if you're running a 30-foot planter, you know,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good swath.
Have you watched the show it's on Amazon? I think Jeremy Clarkson's.
Yep.
Have you watched that?
Yep.
What do you think? Is that realistic-ish?
Yeah, pretty much.
I like watching that show. Yeah. Anyways, let's get into this bourbon and give it a try.
Okay.
So normally we do a neat sample and then however you want it. This is the first time someone's had a neat sample and then a neat sample. So
Okay.
I think that's great. But
Double neat.
Double neat. So Mike, cheers to you.
All right.
Let's get into this and let's get to the grading.
All right.
This is oh shoot, I had that 101.48 proof. Mash bill's 75% corn, so it's a lot of corn, right? It's aged minimum of 3 years on the bottle, it says, and it's proofed using ground-fed limestone filtered Kentucky spring water. It's pretty typical, I think, for unless it's what was that one we did? There was a previous episode with Baby Jane, where it was all lies, maybe lies. All right, we got a scoring thing in front of you.
Okay.
Just go ahead and fill that out when you're ready, and we'll get to it. So I'll because we didn't really go through this in too much detail. So the first one is heritage,
Right.
and you look at this one and you say, okay, well, the company was founded in 2010,
Right.
right? There's not a lot of deep roots there,
Right.
You get some products like a Jim Beam product that may have been started in 1780.
Well, that's kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting to go a little farther roots into Kentucky, but no, it kind of goes everywhere else.
It's surprising. There are so many companies that are starting off, and like a lot of them. But this one is not a good example of this. But a lot of them have, like, I pulled this master distiller in from this company, and he has lineage back to this distillery here.
Right.
And there's a lot of just intertwined stories
Right.
for this. But then there's also some like this product. I don't want to compare it necessarily to, but from the standpoint of its lineage, like there's another product we reviewed earlier called Frank August, where it's almost like a boutique kind of thing, where people are saying, hey, listen, there's some money to be had here. Let me go ahead and start doing this, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think it's great for the industry that they're having more competition, more offerings, more variety. But our grading system is what it is. Right, so it's a maximum of 20. My personal thing on this one, I'm probably gonna give it like a 7.
I was going to go a little more than that, but I was going to go 10.
Go 10.
Just for the fact that, I mean, it is a Kentucky whiskey. I was expecting more deeper roots into Kentucky, but
And
it doesn't taste bad. It's got a pretty good taste to it.
I think so too. And so I mean, you're running right into the next category, right?
Right.
Taste and drinkability, maximum of 40.
How about give it a 30?
I think I'm right with you. And affordability. So this bottle was $43. I got it on sale at Vinny's for $35.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, it's really an affordable or competitively priced bottle. This affordability is maximum 30, and I'll tell you what, going into affordability and kind of I think blends with design a little bit because You know, I could see for $35, you know, trying to collect a couple of these with the different patterns, different colors, different
Right.
horses and so that, and kind of having that behind us at the bar. I'm gonna score this one, I think a 22 on affordability for me. What about you?
Well, I don't know how long to stay behind the bar. That's the problem.
Well, probably not long.
I'm gonna go probably 25.
Okay.
Because that is a decent price.
And then the last one is design, maximum of 10 for the design. What do you think?
Now, when we speak of design, we speak in design of the whiskey or the bourbon,
The bottle,
the bottle,
Yeah.
and all of it together.
all together.
I think it's pretty good. Not bad. Probably an 8.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got a 7.
Okay.
So,
I know that insignia that I don't really care for that, but you get a different one. It's going to be a different color. That'll be a different color. This will be a different color.
yeah, so I think this color will always be the same. If it's
Okay.
if it's a bourbon, it will be that color.
Okay.
If it's a, well, let's see. Yeah, flagship bourbon. All the bourbons will be orange.
Okay.
If you get like a cask or a high strength bourbon, that would be purple.
Okay.
If you go with their normal rye, that would be green, and their high strength, their cask strength rye would be blue. So this will always be what it is, and then this design will change based on the year of the release, right? So, and it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. Like if it's 2023, like this is, has the chevron design. If it was a rye, I think that would just be green along with the green wax dip.
Okay.
So, and then the horses change every year.
I mean, it's kind of shaped like a champagne bottle or wine bottle.
Did you know this trick here?
What's that?
So they say that the bottom of the bottle, a lot of them have this little notch here,
Yep.
and they said that was during Prohibition. They'd hide the bottles between the ashtrays.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, that might be folklore, but
Single use. I only seen one cigarette thing.
well, this isn't going to hold a lot of ash either,
No.
right?
Well,
So I don't know. So what do you said you got an 8?
yeah.
So what do you got as your overall score?
I was thinking about changing something, but we'll do it.
You're allowed to change.
$73.
Strong score. I've got a 66. We're in the ballpark. Well, Mike, thanks for being on the program. It was great learning a little bit more about you.
Yep.
And until next episode, so long from Ordinary Guys Bourbon.